Well, good morning, healing warriors. It's another beautiful day here in sunny San Diego, and I want to get started with chapter 2 of Revolution Within. So I'm going to turn the camera around for you so you can see the beautiful sunrise. Wow. This is what I get to see in San Diego. And again, we are reading Revolution Within by Pastor Dwight Edwards. And we're in the introduction now. Falling in line with your true design. There's a Native American fable about a young brave who happened upon a nest of golden eagle eggs. Deciding to have some fun, he took one of the eggs and placed it in the nest of some prairie chickens. The egg hatched, and the changeling eagle grew up with the brood of prairie chickens. Believing himself to be like everyone else around him, he behaved accordingly. He clucked and cackled and scratched in the dirt for seeds and insects to live on. He never flew more than a few feet off the ground, since prairie chickens are incapable of rising any higher. Years passed. One day, the young eagle was scratching along with one of his older prairie chicken brothers when a fleeting shadow passed over them. They looked up and saw high in the sky the soaring form of something gliding on the currents of the wind. "What a beautiful bird," the young eagle exclaimed. "That's an eagle," the older brother informed him, staring upward. "A golden eagle. He's the king of the air. No bird can compare with him." Then he lowered his gaze and added, "But don't give it a second thought. You could never be like him." And back to scratching they went. Indeed, the changeling eagle never gave another thought to that soaring sight. According to the fable, he died as he had lived, never rising any higher than a prairie chicken's existence. Tragically, this same story is repeated in the lives of far too many believers. Like eagles, we were created and redeemed to mount up on God-given wings. Our privileged calling is to breathe deeply the crisp and rarefied air of knowing our God more and more intimately, to know the keen thrill of unrestrained, exuberant worship, and to abandon ourselves to the high adventure of warring on behalf of God's kingdom in this dark world. This is our God-given design, and that's why we cannot truly be satisfied with anything less. We can never find the intense fulfillment our souls yearn for while scratching around in carnal living or mediocre spirituality. We were made and fully equipped at the time of our conversion to soar. What we'll be exploring in this book is simply the abiding joy of falling in line with our true design. We'll discover many inspiring and life-changing realities to the glory of God, whose lavish grace makes this kind of soaring truly attainable. We'll see more clearly how amazing God's grace really is, not just in how he redeemed us, but even more in the quality of day-to-day living that he both invites us to and fully outfits us for. God's safety net. During the initial stages of constructing the famous Golden Gate Bridge, 23 workers fell to their death in the cold waters connecting the North Pacific with San Francisco Bay. Finally, halfway through the project, a large net was put in place between the bridge. Surprisingly, and then on, only 10 men actually fell, all safely caught by the net. Beyond this, there was a full 25% increase in the workers' productivity rate. Assured that their safety was no longer a question, they pursued their work with far greater freedom and effectiveness than before. This is exactly what God has done for us. Stretched wide beneath us, extending from eternity past to eternity future, is God's perfect grace, assuring every believer that we can never fall from his favor. No matter how badly we falter, no matter how badly we fail, we can never plunge past the grace of God. In this book, we'll seek to bring into sharper awareness the undiluted, unrestricted flow of his grace into our daily lives. As we do so, we'll discover the delightfully unexpected result in what it does for our purity and our godly living. We'll also explore one of the most powerful yet overlooked motivations for such godly living, and one of the most liberating truths I've ever learned. It's the great reality that the desire to do the will of God is the gift of God. I spent so many years trying to muster up desire for what I knew God was requiring of me, or praying that God would change my heart. The good news, as we'll thoroughly investigate in these pages, is that God has already changed my heart and yours as well. Here's your stake. For many years, as a pastor and teacher, I taught with the basic assumption that most of the people in front of me didn't really want to obey God's will. It was my job to try to coerce them into doing what they fundamentally didn't want to do. I call it now the eat your vegetables approach to ministry. You may not like what God commands, but go ahead and do it anyway because it's good for you. Now, I work from the basic assumption that deep down, every true believer does want to do the will of God. Though so many are unaware of this or are blocked in this realization. Now, I try to ministry from a here's your steak approach, helping others see all that they were created for, and enticing the new appetite for righteousness that God placed in their souls at conversion. We'll also behold the liberating truth that God gives us not only a new set of want-tos for doing his will, but also a new can-do through his Spirit to actually carry out our new inclinations. As we more fully recognize our new purity, our new identity, our new disposition, and our new power, we'll explore their divinely intended results: new intimacy with God, new liberty in daily living, a new community with other believers, and a new ministry through the Holy Spirit. So come, my friend, let's learn more about this new reality that God has called us to, that he's deeply inclined our hearts toward, and that he's also fully empowered us to carry out. Wow. Wow. I'll tell you what, this is a fantastic book. This is going to be the second time I've read through it, and I'm going to show you a picture of it so you can see it. It's called Revolution Within by Pastor Dwight Edwards, and the Lord told me to read it to you, so I am. All right. Y'all go out and make it a blessed day.